Alright, this is what I have to do. Just for me. I don't even know if I'll post it, but while I'm thinking about this, brainstorming, about an Ahrimanic impulse. The Luciferian Ahrimanic impulse, a current. And if I'm looking at this day and age, they tell you the current events, the average person, they don't even have a clue of what that means. They do not have it in their brain. But I can sort of now put the pieces together on some of it. Just for myself real quick, I know that sorry, I'm losing my voice. I yelled a lot yesterday. To remind myself when I rewatch this, I can't yell like that. That's you can't gain true strength and no connection to God getting upset. But I know this, that these right here are currents. Your current events come through newspapers and the radio, TV. The magazines give you a current status on musicians. Commercials keep you on current foods coming out, the movies, the actors, the ads. All right, so if we see that, and that creates an impulse in the brain to go and consume. Because the familiar ringtone to the brain we know now, the cerebrum, the occipital lobe, and the sensorian organ, the faculties throw in schools, and the imagination has all been developed inside through around man-made technology, which is currents and impulses by itself. And Ahriman is this thing. But we'll get to that in a minute. But let's just, I Googled Bible verses about impulse. And it's funny, it says 19 verses. And I know about 19, gematria, chaos, the 1 and the 9, the beginning and the end, especially in full reduction. There's also some in satanic, because we also know that that's where it is. So, Exodus 35:5 says, "Take from among you an offering to the Lord, everyone who has the impulse in his heart. Let him give his offering to the Lord, gold and silver and brass." Impulse in his heart. So, if I'm evil and I'm going to create Ahriman, okay, in a live, in physical form, then I have to get ready. And I know that Ahriman is going to need ingredients. He's going to need food, which is the meds. I already know that, pharmakia. So what I have to do is create a generational impulse. Okay? So if we go back, now we've got to go back in history. Let me read a couple more. "And everyone whose heart was moved, everyone who was guided by the impulse of his spirit." And see, now came with his offering to the Lord, blah, blah, blah. Impulse of his spirit. Okay, now that on the TV they say it be inspired, LGBT, all this. Well, inspired means to be in spirit. So these generations now are the Ahrimanic impulse in physical form, guided and controlled through the technology. We know that. So we do know that Scripture absolutely has nothing to do with any Christian church, anything whatsoever. Because the impulse and the current within the church, within itself, is within the gadgets. And we already know that this is Saturn. This is big boy shit. And this is Ahrimanic intelligence. So without having, I don't want to read any more about that. In 869, we know that the body, soul, and spirit was done. And then we're going to start pushing duality. So if we can allow ourselves, if some goy and the dummies are watching, it's funny because that was me in the hospital bed, working on 10 years now against the whole fucking thing. I'm out of the rings. But even back then, you know, because we know about him talking about them cutting off the routes to the Americas and all that. So if we go back that far and they take out body, spirit, and soul and then start pushing the duality, now the door's opening slowly. I can see that. It's like I told somebody, I said, you know, like how if we're on a roof working, you know how you can see pretty far? And I said, that's how I can see, like, from where we're at now to the past, in a sense. I said, it's a fucking curse. And I said, not one person I can't even talk about it. Because I've denied the world. I ain't watched, listen, we know, I know what's going on. But it's fucked up how the Ahrimanic impulse is so strong in the human being that does not believe in spirits and beings. It's crazy. But that's the Ahrimanic being. So who represents duality? Saturn. And we already know that Saturn here in Aquarius is going to be the big boy for 1,000 years. So even back then, they were getting ready for this now by pushing this. And then you fast forward to, 1200 to 1500 to where they rediscovered America. Fuck. Could you imagine how lost the minds are by then? I mean, whatever's popping up, that's what the bloodlines will say. Oh no, it's real everywhere. But then if you fast forward to the 1800s, because I don't want to get into this shit because nobody even understands it. And hell, truthfully, it should be kind of easy. Because it goes into your astral body, your ether body, and your physical body. And hell, you don't even know any of those except for just your anatomy. That's it. And they threw it all away because it's Ahriman. Now, I can't tell you which and which, but there is an Ahrimanic impulse and a Luciferian impulse. And Jesus Christ came here for the Jesus Christ impulse. It should make sense. We just read over Scripture. Just read Scripture about an impulse of the Spirit. But see, now the impulse of the be inspired is the bullshit that's on the fake TV and these world controllers. Look, I know what's under my feet. Nobody else they can't even fucking, look, you can take stone and go look at this and you can see where it's literally turned into putty and rehardened. And them dumb goy will just look right at it and go, I don't know, you're crazy, man. Did you see all my money? Hell yeah. See my possessions? You crazy, man. Shame y'all. And that's Ahriman. Ahriman can't see that shit. So in the middle of the 1800s, when the Vatican moved 5,000 priests over here, those priests were getting ready to raise the orphans, the 250,000, which was a ton more, into this Ahrimanic impulse and this current of what we're in right now. Does that make sense? Some of y'all should be able to be like, damn, it's like that's what we're saying. I can see the cotton shit, how it, whatever was here, I'm sure they used it. And then blasted it, covered it up, and then planted bullshit generations. We already know that. So what they did is they came in here and it's just like anywhere. They create a fault. Ahriman has a false sense, and it doesn't matter. Towns are, come on. Look, all the towns are the same. That means it's the same design. That means the Vatican has the priests of Saturn getting ready to raise the Ahrimanic spirits that are goy. Criminals, orphans, and slaves, we're going to reset it. So these priests in 20 years turn into 20,000. And then in 10, 20 more years into 40,000. But now those offspring don't even know that they're preaching blasphemy, which is Ahrimanic and Luciferian. Yeah, setting up the churches going, oh no, my granddaddy built this. Yeah, but you got to go back and find out how Ahriman, just like a garden, they plant the people, and then they start gardening the ears and the eyes with the Ahrimanic technology, artificial intelligence, or Ahrimanic intelligence. And then they create the materialism, which is Ahriman. You know, it's the materialistic world. But the whole thing is when you create human beings to never, ever, ever, ever look up, and not only that, to be against it, that's a very dark spirit, very dark impulse, very dark current of fear. And see, and we already know that the controllers of the world designed this to instill fear, to instill poverty. You know, you control people through poverty and fear and through emotions. They tell you in Batman Dark Knight Rises, he goes, just kill me. He goes, oh, hell no. He said, death's too easy. I'm going to torture you so. Tells you right there. And people laugh. And it's these people. It's these sorcerers. These fucking huge, you know, and we got to go back and think about this. Before these priests came here to raise this Ahrimanic impulse of Goyim humans, these fucking priests, bloodlines, come from another land to where these bloodlines, I've seen it, they've been raised with no images and nothing, you know what I'm talking about, like fucking connected to the current and the impulse of some nasty fucking shit. And like mediums, generational mediums, it's going to take 7 years to perfect the man. If I know all about the cell salt, so if we go through 7 generations of cell salts and really, dude, the human being's going to be huge and fucking badass. Just like with black magic, it's going to go through 7 generations and it will have some shit. And once those priests were on that level, they moved them here into this land and just like everywhere and set up shop. And then that's whenever the fucking authority and the illusion of, I got a piece of paper, he doesn't know anything. Look, you know, because they've controlled the impulse and the current of all this controls the masses, the Ahrimanic impulse. You know, but I'm starting to see how they already know how they've set it up. But see, this is my whole thing is I don't see how a lot of these authors of old never talked about like them blowing shit up and melting it and destroying everything. Just like even around here is very recent to what they've done. Let me explain. If the people could actually look and open their mind, okay, they would see structure literally everywhere. And we're pretty much the first ones here. And I can attest to that. You know, the first school here, my sister, they were the first class there. And they had to look for dinosaur bones. And those dinosaur fossils were melted structure. So whatever was here, they gave it enough time to grow some vegetation and then planted us. So once you can realize that the people who've created all this, look, look, I know about the harnessing of our souls and how this Ahrimanic spirit I know about the souls being lost on the other side that have never looked up at all. And how there's a sphere on the other side. And how they did shit in the middle of 1800s in lodges and said those are not fucking spirits. Those are dead souls. Trapped and shit, whatever. See, the people can't understand. Like Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings, which is Saturn and all of it. Look, it's all that has to do with this. The whole fucking thing. Every character and all that comes from that. But black sorcery means source. And God came to Job out of the whirlwind Blavatsky talks about that's the real magician would be God out of the whirlwind. But see, Christians and people, no, it's not real. That's not real. Well, because the sorcerers and the fucking, I don't even know what you would call bad warlocks. You know? Because we know one thing, the people who created all this shit destroyed and burned all the knowledge and all the people who had any fucking connection to that, this, God, and everything else. Nature, get rid of them. That's Satan. We got to create plastics, pills, everything else. Scared me in your mind of Ahrimanic. That's right, man. You're crazy. You see this paper? I went to this. That's an Ahrimanic fucking mind. Steiner even said this. He said in time, Ahriman, the person, will be Ahriman. And they won't even fucking know it. And there ain't nothing you're going to be able to say to them. And that's where we are right fucking now. Because the thing is the school boards that all the women are on, and some of the men, but the women, yeah, look at me and I love you. But those come from boarding schools, from the orphans. So you're a product. You raised that first generation, controlled the towns, set up like slavery. And then here comes the next generation, then it slowly grows into this fucking lie. Because in each town it has all the same shit to be controlled. We know that. And that's Ahriman. See, and we already know how the Black Hand, the Black Death, Copenhagen's black is back on tobacco because Saturn's back. Yeah, it's them. We know the Black Hand is the same logo as Skull and Bones. It's them. Listen, we know Joe Biden got his fucking shot at 322 on TV. We know who the fuck it is. Stupid by now for me. Because see, it's in their eyes. It is fucked up how a group, because they say they're just human. And it's like, listen, fuck, what did this and has the technology to do that kind of shit ain't them. And it is very fucking tight-knit controlled, and I know that, but how the fuck did they get there to get that technology? And they'll tell you in their series, they said the heart did. You know, so, I mean, the thing is, but then it's predicted a long time ago. But at the same time, it's like everywhere around here there's caverns. But they're not. They're hallways, tunnels, and all that shit. It's very easy if you can look at it. Go melt candles and then go look in the caverns. Bingo, there you go. But the people, because they can't. Ahriman can't fucking see it. Because Ahriman, by now, has been this. You pop out in the hospital, bam, there's a TV. That little baby's first existence is like, hell yeah, I'm Ahriman, baby. And we already know that the vaxes, the spirit that's supposed to be there whenever we're born is gone. And Ahriman's there. Through the pre-vax. So you're already Ahriman popped out. You're going to depend on a fucking Ahrimanic system your entire existence. That you won't sway from? Nothing. And that was begun in the way beyond a long time ago. But these sons of bitches right here that are generational fucking warlocks are the big boys that got the shit going. And then each generation is hexed even worse. And then if you tie in the surname, which comes, the surname, which is above and beyond the Christian name, they're telling you, those dumb goy, it's okay. We still get to worship God. That's right. That's Lucifer training Ahriman. And then Lucifer, but you have Lucifer tendencies too. So those dumb oh good, that's right. We still get to worship God. It's like, hold up. That says above and beyond. That means that you're serving this God, which is Saturn. We already know the whole fucking go. Listen, I can rip. It is crazy. Because see, my sobriety date is December the 17th. And see, my current, look, that up there, you can use it for good or bad. And it says in the Bible, the heavens declare the glory of God. But December the 17th, I had no idea what was fixing to happen. And that's why they can't do nothing to me. Because my birthday is 12/7. Yeah, and 17 is the 7th prime. It is fucked up on how connected that it is to everything. And how connected that I am to a bunch of other shit. But see, here, this current that we've been in, this Ahrimanic current that we have been in, Okay, these people on all that, these leaders, they're not on our side. We have been weak-minded and we have been seeking status and position. That's sorcery. What the fuck? Get out of that shit. Get out of it. So our generations fed into this bullshit because they were forced into it. You know, and that Ahrimanic impulse is in every human being right now. And it is. Because the thing is this, is any one of them that tell me that I'm a Satanist, I can blatantly tell them to write out their life, what they eat, what they watch, who they talk to. If they can write their true thoughts down, I can show them. There's Ahriman right there that you keep telling me I need Jesus. It's some nasty ass Christianity you have, some weak shit. To never have enough humility. To not have, it's crazy. I have so many people that come at me. You know, people that think it's insane. It's an Ahrimanic being. And they cannot show humility. They can't prove that they have no bias in a conversation. They have to show authority in any kind of conversation, and that's Ahriman. And Lucifer, but more Ahrimanic. They cannot do it. And that's a fucking generational impulse. Think about it, planting human beings on top of structure that is melted and blown to shit. Listen, I already know there's rivers of concrete, what they did. People can't see it. I can. I can see huge structure. I can take you right to it. They don't have it in them because Ahriman will say, don't listen to him. He's not complying. So we've got to go back generations and see how we've been ingrained to stay in fear and to just sit there. And in Gematria, Satanic news is 201. So it's Jesuit papers is what it is. You know, Satanic Gematria, 666, and Satanic Gematria. And Silent Obedience, and a ton of other shit. And I already know how these terms were created, and then fuck. You need to think about the bloodlines from that shit. Because the Satanic Gematria was created pretty sure way before that. And then everything else was created. And seeing, I don't know if these writers of old, I mean, I don't know. I know they controlled everything. And I do know one thing though, Germany was a big boy for a long time. I know that, and I know that there was some crazy shit coming out around the 1500s. And I know that the Vatican and them got way the fuck out of hand with black magic. And it wasn't no secret that it was going on in there. And the people had no idea that look, it's Saturn. It's them getting ready. In the song, AC/DC Back in Black, he tells you. You know, everything they do is about Saturn. All of it. Every bit of it. It's crazy how it is, but it's what it is. You know, but the whole thing is when it started out as fire departments, it was like, all right, we as citizens are going to help do this together, when there wasn't that many. And then slowly, as the town grew, then it was, all right, we're going to create an engine department, I think is what it was. And we're going to start taking some money out of you so we can build it. And motherfucker, look at what's happened. And the whole thing is those people in those towns had nothing. They didn't have shit. All they had was that shit. And then these controllers handed out property like a fucking deck of cards in a damn game of spades. You know, the game of Monopoly. It's a game, but it's a board, which is Saturn. It has to do with Saturn. Monopoly is acquire money and property, and in the game you got to give it all back. And this is a game. School board is a game. You get your diploma on a stage, you know. In the black robe you wear in the traditional sense, it's Saturn, the square mortar board, and the 12 grades, which goes into the outer court grades, and Saturnalia, which is 0 to 11 degrees, and that's the dummies that ain't never going to do nothing. They're just dues-paying members. And that's who you are that go through the 12 grades, which represent 33 degrees of Saturnalia. So you go through the 12 grades and just represent a system. A body as a whole corrupt as an Ahrimanic impulse nature. The whole system is. All schools are the same. They're the same. They can't fucking see it. And they'll look at you. He's crazy. He is crazy. Just if I was president, I'd be like, we're getting rid of these. You watch that Ahrimanic being fucking go crazy. Tell people you're gonna get rid of Bibles. Oh hell, I don't care. I got it on here. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then, cause see, I know what's coming. I can see what's coming too. And it's gonna be nasty, but it's no different than any other time. It's like he say in that damn movie, The Witch Hunter, I think is what it is. When he goes, it's a different world. And Vin Diesel goes, no. He says, only on the surface. That's what we're saying. That's the surface. What I'm giving you is not from me. You know, now, it's going to be hard to put some of this together, but I don't expect any one person to see this. Maybe a couple. Maybe some of the people who are into some of these authors like Blavatsky and Steiner and Eliphas Levi and different ones. You know, but that's what I'll sit there and I ponder on it. And I heard that a long time ago, and they're like, you need to ponder on shit. You need to read one book, you know, stick to it, and then learn how to get better, reading different stuff. But you need to learn how to, you know, think about stuff. Because the average person, this Ahrimanic being, they got to have an answer right now. And when you find out that that's Ahriman and that's who you are, and truthfully, to show humility, you know, but I mean, it's like the reason I was yelling is because I'm going up against an Ahrimanic being. And it's sad. And that Ahrimanic being is just fucking hell-bent on not listening. They will take up, you threaten that existence here in this material world, and they fucking come unglued. I have witnessed it day after day. Everywhere that I go, and it's a curse. It's a curse. But I can see, and Disney has a huge part to play with this. In the news, all that right there has to do with these, because these are not priests, these are warlocks. So it was setting up the Harry Potter system, but for real, to keep every generation enslaved. You know, and here comes the birth certificate, commerce, property. It's all an illusion. It's what it is. And somehow the ones now, all these Goy keep, you know, just dying right back into this fucking Ahrimanic realm with Lucifer. Ahriman's job is to just destroy you. You know, Lucifer's going to influence you, but their impulses and their currents. So, and you have to look at this to the ones who are kind of confused. But anyways, that's how I see it, because that's what they have done. And they've done that not just here, but everywhere. You know, so if we can get over the illusion of, holy shit, black magic is real. Yeah, it's real to the dummies, and the other ones that know, you know, because the whole thing is if somebody has an impulse at church, they don't carry that with them when they leave there. You understand? They carry all those impulses, so it's Ahrimanic. Artificial intelligence is Ahrimanic intelligence. All right, I love you.